Welcome to State of the Offense. This morning we will look at the Saints-Packers matchup for this afternoon. The main story on the Saints end of things is the running back situation. Jamal Williams was placed on injured reserve for his hamstring injury. Tony Jones Jr. filled in very well last week against the Panthers, but he is a career journeyman. Kendre Miller will make his NFL debut this week, and I am hopeful that Miller will be able to contribute at least half the workload. With that in mind, and the fact that the interior offensive line positions of the Saints struggle against both the Panthers and the Titans, I only rank Jones as my running back 42 for the week. He's not a viable starter this week in fantasy football. Miller will possibly spring up and show his talent. Long-term, Miller's value is limited because Alvin Kamara returns in week 4. Derek Carr has led the Saints to victories over two very tough defenses in the first two games. Green Bay has a lot of talent on defense, and they will be just as good as the previous defenses the Saints have faced. The Packers have a decisive edge on the defensive line, so the running game will be difficult to establish. Carr will have to get rid of the ball faster than he has done previously. It might help for Pete Carmichael to call fewer empty sets and use Adam Prentice in pass protection. Carr is only my quarterback 22 this week, and I think that the Saints will score between 17 and 21 points against Green Bay. The Saints wide receivers are proving to be the strength of the team. Chris Olave is easily the best player on the offense, but Rashid Shaheed and Michael Thomas have both been productive so far. The key for the Saints passing game is to call fewer plays that take a long time to develop. Chris Olave is my wide receiver 29, Rashid Shaheed the wide receiver 43, and Michael Thomas, wide receiver 52. At tight end, Juwan Johnson and Jimmy Graham will man the position with Foster Moreau being inactive. Johnson has not been used as much as the Saints indicated to us in the preseason. He does have a favorable matchup against Rudy Ford, so the potential for Juwan Johnson is there. Jimmy Graham has been mainly used as a blocker, but I would love to see him used in the red zone. Juwan Johnson is my tight end 22 this week. The Packers have exceeded expectations in the first 2 weeks offensively. Jordan Love has been the most efficient quarterback in the NFL statistically, and he's done it with young receivers and backups. The best Packer wide receiver is Christian Watson, who hasn't played a down yet. Watson is questionable for the game against the Saints and is likely a game-time decision. The Saints defense has been nasty so far this year. Packers left tackle David Bakhtiari is questionable for the game, and left guard Elton Jenkins is out. The Saints have a strong advantage on the line of scrimmage. Aaron Jones is also a game-time decision, so we may see A.J. Dillon in a full-time role in Week 3. With all of the uncertainty of the status of three of the Packers' best players with Jones, Watson, and Bakhtiari, I only rate Jordan Love as my quarterback 16. The Saints' D is a lot better than what he's faced so far with the Bears and Falcons. Aaron Jones is a game-time decision, as I mentioned previously, and he's barely practiced this week. A.J. Dillon is a fine substitute for Aaron Jones. The Saints have not been as stout against the run as you would think. The Titans went away from Derrick Henry in Week 1, and Miles Sanders was effective when he got a chance against the Saints in Week 2. Do the Packers make the same mistake as the Titans and Panthers and not run the ball as much? If Jones, Watson, and Bakhtiari are all active, I expect a balanced attack from Green Bay. If the Packers are missing Bakhtiari, they will run the ball more. I'm not rating Jones this week, but Dillon is my running back 31, so he's not start worthy this week in fantasy football. The Packers' young wide receivers have been doing just fine without Christian Watson. Even if Watson is out, rookie Dontavian Wicks has been very productive in his spot. Jaden Reed broke out against Atlanta last week. Romeo Doubs has been inconsistent, but he's a talented player. Paulson Adebo is questionable for the Saints, so wide receiver 3 for Green Bay should do well this week. Marshawn Lattimore and Alontae Taylor should keep their assignments in check. Romeo Doubs is my wide receiver 46, Christian Watson wide receiver 50, and Jaden Reed wide receiver 58. If Watson is active and Adebo is out, expect a good game from Dubs. Luke Musgrave will have the benefit of not having to face Tyrann Mathieu and Marcus Maye with Maye's suspension. Jordan Howden will fill in at strong safety, and Mathieu will slide into the free safety spot. Musgrave is my tight end 15 this week, and if you're looking for a starter at tight end in your lineup, Musgrave is a solid waiver wire option to start this week. If you like today's coverage of the Saints-Packers game, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.